So, in light of the JonBenet Ramsey um, multi-part series released on Netflix, that's been in the news lately. I haven't watched it yet. I'm traveling, just kind of looking up some articles on John, more to understand a little bit more about John. And so, this article, John has been in the news, obviously pushing this docu-series is what he's doing and promoting. In this article, he's talking about the DNA evidence again. And I haven't read all the way through it, so we'll kind of go through this. But I want to just kind of set the tone here is that sometimes what I've seen in the past is that John will, rant and rave about individuals not taking the evidence seriously and all such as that. And this is the key. But, we can't just use buzzwords like DNA and throw the Boulder police under the bus and not provide any kind of help in whatever they ask in getting access to JonBenet. So let's kind of see a little bit about what he's talking about. So JonBenet Ramsey's father insists his daughter's 28-year-old murder will still be solved. Ramsey, who is 80, said that advances in DNA technology can help police in Boulder, Colorado, take fresh look at his daughter's murder, which garnered international attention around Christmas of '96. Now, this is not the first time he's talked about, DNA evidence being the key. I can't remember, but the date, but I know he talked on in previous years. He's talked on several talk shows like 60 Minutes Australia and other talk shows about DNA and DNA being the key and things of that nature. And I think the crime report or something like that he's talked on. So he's at it again, apparently. So we'll watch this short clip and then kind of move on.
We want to keep the case alive and in front of people.
Nearly 3 decades after the body of his 6-year-old daughter was found in the basement of the family's Colorado home, John Ramsey, the father of murdered JonBenet, tells today's Savannah Guthrie he believes her killer will be brought to justice.
You still have hope that this can be solved?
I believe it can be solved if the police accept help from outside their system. That's been the flaw for 25 years.
The murder mystery that first captivated the nation 28 years ago and the conspiracy theories that have haunted the family ever since.
I was told by...
Help me understand, because I this is the part that I've never been able to confirm. Where are the cops openly... the Boulder police openly rejecting help? I just need to understand that. I've not seen that anywhere. I've not looked, but that has not, in the videos I've watched, in the articles that I've read, that has not been something that's emerged. Is that the police, I understand the blunder part. That's what I understand. I get that. And, not, conducting a legitimate or thorough investigation. I get that. But what I'm talking about is, when has the Colorado Boulder Police Department not accepted help specifically with John? I have not seen those articles or those videos. That's not emerged. I've just seen John say that over and over again. That's what's confusing to me. I would like to see it.
Someone inside the system to get this message to you. They believe you killed your daughter.
Are now the focus of a 3-part Netflix docuseries.
Someone inside the system
that have haunted the family ever since.
I was told by someone inside the system to get this message to you. They believe you killed your daughter.
Are now the focus of a 3-part Netflix docuseries, which raises new questions about the investigation.
Some people don't think it.
The murder mystery that first captivated the nation 28 years ago and the conspiracy theories that have haunted the family ever since.
I was told by someone inside the system to get this message to you. They believe you killed your daughter.
Are now the focus of a three-part Netflix docuseries, which raises new questions about the investigation.
Some people don't think it's ever going to be solved.
Tonight, the Ramsey family tells NBC News they want the Boulder police to bring in outside experts to test key evidence using new technology. In a statement, the Boulder police says it's committed to following up on every lead and continues to work with DNA experts and law enforcement partners until this case is solved.
Today, finding the killer is not going to change my life. I've lost JonBenet. It's not going to bring JonBenet back. I would like to close this chapter.
Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News.
That's, first of all, I don't understand statements that are not useful. Hey, somebody inside the system told me to tell you that they think it's you. Yeah.
Tonight, day 2 of the...
Sorry. Yes. But that's what you guys have been fighting for 25 something odd years, is against that accusation of people saying that it's you and Patsy and Burke. That's what you guys have been fighting against. So it's not a surprise. And then moving on to statements like, finding the killer is not going to do anything for me. That's okay. He said that, bringing JonBenet back, finding out who the killer is not going to do much for me. I've watched her.
On every lead and continues to work with DNA experts and law enforcement partners until this case is solved.
Today, finding the killer is not going to change my life. I've lost JonBenet. It's not going to bring JonBenet back. I would like to close this chapter.
Aaron McLaughlin.
The way he said that was kind of like the rhythm of the sentence. I watched killer. It's not going to bring her back. It's not going to. It's almost like it's a write-off sentence. Like I'm done arguing about it. And I guess you can be fed up. Would that be the word? Maybe you can be fed up from talking about it, or I don't know if that's the correct word, or you could be exhausted. Maybe exhausted is a better word. From talking about this all the time, but I'm. It wouldn't change your life. It would change your life, John. It would change your life immensely. It would be the end of a 25-year investigation that you could end that investigation. Unless you're telling me that you want the investigation to go on because you sort of enjoy the thrill of such an expansive time that otherwise you would be out of the spotlight. And I'm not saying that you're hungry for the spotlight. I guess I'm just saying that without this case, there wouldn't be much to talk about. But with this case, there's still reason to get up and move around and go to conferences and events that want you to come speak about this case for your daughter. That's number one. But number two is you would have closure for you. You would have closure for your family, which you said in another interview that you were doing this for your kids and your grandkids. And I think you said your great grandkids to know and be certain about this closure on JonBenet's killing. So I don't know what changed, and I don't know why it's not important. It seems like that your daughter's case would be solved. That's, you just say some stuff that throws me off. And I'm trying to process it in a way that would be understanding of you saying that. But as I'm trying to go through these scenarios in my head, I don't have to come to a place to where I can say that it makes sense to me. I can just, settle on a point that maybe it makes sense to you and I'm okay with that, but it just does not make sense to me as I'm trying to think through scenarios in my head. Maybe you guys can help me out. But JonBenet Ramsey's father still clings to hope that his daughter's killer can be caught. He said on Thursday he welcomes new pop culture attention on the nearly 28-year-old slaying. Ramsey, who is 80, said that advances in DNA technology can help police in Boulder, Colorado, take a fresh look at the murder of the 6-year-old girl that garnered international attention around Christmas of 1996, saying, quote, so we want to keep the case alive and in front of people, he told NBC's Today Show. He says, again, I believe it can be solved if the police accept help from outside of their system. That's been the flaw for 25 years. This is what upsets me about the Ramseys. They act like they are legitimately trained police investigators. I'm not saying that you cannot have an opinion about an investigation. I'm not saying that the police are smarter than us in every investigation detail. That's not what I'm saying. But for you to say definitively that the problem is that law enforcement would not accept help. If that is the case, we have such a community of people who are working on this case in an unofficial capacity that want to see this case solved. There are so many people working on this that the code would have been cracked already. You know what I mean? Like if there was a way for things to have moved forward and progress, it would have been done already. There's been multiple pleas by people who have worked on this case in an official capacity and those who have worked on this case in an unofficial capacity for this to be solved, to use every single resource that's possible. So for you to definitively say that without a doubt, like you're certain, well, they don't want to take help. That's the only thing that's stopping us here. Okay. Doesn't make sense to me again, but fine. Ramsey spoke on Today alongside Joe Berlinger, the director of the upcoming Netflix docuseries Cold Case, Who Killed JonBenet Ramsey, which comes out next week. While the JonBenet murder case is seared into the minds of Gen X and baby boomers, Gen Z and younger millennials might not be as aware, Berlinger said. There's a whole new generation of true crime fans that have rediscovered the story, going down these rabbit holes on Reddit and message boards, continuing to blame the family, continuing to spin, conspiracy theories, he said. So I really wanted to set the record straight. It's a very clear-eyed examination of how it's so obvious that this was an intruder. Okay. Are you okay? Sir, with all due respect, that is a theory. Of course, we'd be happy to kind of toss it around and see what you got, But there's a sort of ignorance. Now I got to start asking, who paid for this documentary? I got to start asking, who is in control of the direction of this documentary? Because for you to completely rule out everything and say that what people are looking at nowadays are conspiracy theories, like we just making it up, we just pulling things out of thin air. Oh, you're blaming it on the family. You're going down these rabbit holes. And so you've been on Reddit, sir, is what you're telling me. You've been on Reddit, and I'm going to do some stuff on Reddit. They got some pretty interesting theories. Yo, if you've been on Reddit has a forum, thousands of members who are dedicated to this JonBenet Ramsey case. I just browse through it every now and again. Discussing all kinds of theories. Pretty good research into the background of some of these things. And we're going to be talking about breaking down John Ramsey a little bit more and the work that he did and maybe how it's connected. We're going to do some videos on how it's connected or review some videos on how it's connected maybe to this whole JonBenet Ramsey thing. So there's a lot to unpack. It's so complex. So for you to sit there and talk about how it's almost like you're saying we're just making it up, we're just making connections happen, is wild to me. Dude, what are you talking about? Okay, so while renewed attention on his child's killing can also spawn conspiracy theories, Ramsey said there's a net benefit of new eyes on this unsolved murder that has captivated much of the nation for nearly 3 decades. Of course, and we're going to have theories. We're going to look at it in a way that makes sense. We're trying to track it down. It's a double-edged sword, he said. We're grateful that the public and quite frankly, the world, not quite frankly, but and frankly, the world cares about the murder of our child. Memories can still be jogged even 28 years later to create a case cracking tip, according to Ramsey. Hopefully, there's someone who knows something that could come forward. Okay, that's a fair thing to say. But they keep saying it. It's just annoying that they keep saying, hopefully, there's someone somewhere who can come forward. There's somebody in the somebody. It's almost like they're trying to point out to somebody, you know who you are, somebody in the universe somewhere. Stop hiding this information and come forward immediately. We've been waiting on you. That's it. That's just what it sounds like. Every time he says that, that's what it sounds like to me. And it's kind of triggering. I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of triggering because it's like, who did you have in mind, John? Who did you have in mind specifically? Because it seems like you have somebody. You keep on saying someone. Who? JonBenet, who had competed in beauty pageants, was found dead in the early hours of December 26, 1996, in the basement of her family's home in Boulder. The mystery of who strangled the child has remained unsolved. Ramsey has long blamed Boulder police for failing to accept the help out of outside law enforcement agencies. But the father said he's met with recently appointed Boulder Police Chief Steve Redfern. What? He's met with the police chief and is confident the department will be open to any outside assistance. John, why do you keep on pushing this narrative and you're meeting with the police chief? Why are you pushing a narrative and you're meeting with the police chief, for Christ's sakes? The killing of JonBenet was an unspeakable crime, and this tragedy has never left our hearts. Redfern said in a statement, "We are committed to following up on every lead, and we are continuing to work with DNA experts and our law enforcement partners around the country until this tragic case is solved. This investigation will always be a priority for the Boulder Police Department." John Ramsey, whose wife Patsy Ramsey died, wife Patsy Ramsey died of ovarian cancer in 2006, said members of his family have been wrongly blamed for nearly 3 decades. "I'm doing this for the sake of my children," and there it is, "and my grandchildren. This cloud over our family's name needs to be lifted," he said. "They need to be able to go on and close this chapter and go on with their lives." And that's what I was talking about. He said that on an interview before, maybe it was that one. And this was written November 21. So yeah, I feel like there was another article in which he had, or another segment that he said this exact point. So kind of, and going back to my original point, kind of saying that, this isn't going to change my life. And I understand it's not going to change. Well, it will change your life. It's going to change the trajectory of your family. Because if you can imagine, we're assuming, or what he's assuming is that, hey, I just want to be exonerated because it's going to clear up and free my family from this cloud that you guys are saying that we did it, and the negativity that comes with it. However, what if it's to the reverse, right? What if we found out that it was an inside job and you guys did do it? Then what? Then what do we say? You see what I'm saying? Like where do we go from there? Is the cloud of suspicion or the cloud of accusation and sort of, I don't want to say antagonistic behavior moving forward, but are the questions that are going to come as a result now warranted and legitimate for your posterity to have to answer? That's, I want to know that. Is that okay for what you've done for now your kids to have to answer? What's wrong with that? Because they're probably going to say, well, we don't know. We didn't have anything to do with that. And of course you can say that. But now, if it is found to be an inside job, can we get at questioning Burke? Can we get at questioning you a little bit more? Can we retry some stuff? Can we try it in the first place? Right? That's what I'm wondering. So very interesting things being said here. But that's the video. More things to talk about and toss up and talk around. But that's the video. And until next time, take it easy.